This is most unexpected.
Why? What does it mean?
I haven't the foggiest. Isn't that unexpected?
Head.
Look, clearly that's Tyr. Traveling somehow. Perhaps magically. But what's that to do with the giants that they should devote a shrine to it? I'm afraid that is none too clear.
What are those runes in the corners?
Not runes. Symbols from different lands. They mean...
War.
Aye.
How do you...
This one I know too well.
God of War Ragnarok launched on November 9th for PS4 and PS5, and sold a whopping 5.1 million units in 5 days. But according to PlayStation Trophy data, only 49.5% of players have completed the main story till now. Roughly 28.47% of players have unlocked the Platinum Trophy and done everything, more or less. There's plenty that most players won't know about without seeing everything the game offers, and there's a lot to see. Whether you've played the game or not, the question is where the story goes from here. Where will Kratos go next? What could serve as the next game's settings? Which enemies will he run afoul of? Before discussing that, it's important to note the aftermath of Ragnarok. Major spoilers follow for the ending, so beware. After defeating Odin, an out-of-control Surtur who becomes Ragnarok with the help of Kratos and his Blades of Chaos, destroys Asgard. Kratos, Atreus, Freya, Angrboda, Fenrir, and Mimir flee while Freyr stays behind, seemingly sacrificing himself to give the group a chance to escape. Afterwards, Atreus and Kratos are shown a mural which Faye destroyed, thus allowing them to choose their own paths. Upon further investigation, the final panel of that mural is particularly interesting, because it shows Kratos being deemed as the hero of Ragnarok. Atreus and Angrboda embark on a journey to find the other giants, after their spirits were transferred to Spirit Stones to prevent total annihilation at the hands of Odin and Thor. Perhaps the giants have fled to a new location altogether, a location which is not part of the current mythology. Perhaps the giants are now in Egypt, and Atreus will go on a searching mission. And things will go wrong, which will in turn bring Kratos back into the action. The surviving Aesir relocate to Vanaheim and are at peace with the Vanir. Afterwards, Kratos, Freya, and Mimir venture through the realms to bring peace. There are a fair number of threats, from dragons and the berserkers to Gná, the Valkyrie queen who seeks vengeance. It's also worth noting that Tyr, who stuck with Kratos and company throughout the story, wasn't really Tyr. Instead, it was Odin in disguise, and he kills Brock before escaping, leading to Sindri abandoning the group. Sindri does help out in the final battle against Asgard, using a sonic device to destroy its walls. Other than that, his whereabouts are unknown. Thankfully, the real Tyr is still out there, and Kratos and Freya manage to free him from his prison in Niflheim. It is hinted that he kind of knows about Kratos, but is content to wander Niflheim and the other realms. With all this in mind, one would think that Kratos and company would settle down peacefully. The threats to the Nine Realms have been dealt with, after all. The developers also noted many times that this is the end of the Norse saga. However, some other settings and locations could potentially become involved down the line. Before traveling to Midgard, Kratos went to ancient Egypt after the events of God of War 3. As revealed in Dark Horse Comics, Kratos attempts to rid himself of the Blades of Chaos fail, but the weapon finds its way back to him every time. Throughout his travels, he also meets a man that recognizes him and speaks of destiny. This person would appear in various forms, telling Kratos that he can't escape destiny. It notes that destiny is the destination you reach, no matter what direction you travel. At your journey's end, you find that you are exactly where you belong. After this, Kratos stops running from his destiny and ventures to Midgard, taking the Blades of Chaos with him. All said and done, it's a pretty terrible comic book series that does little more than establish that Kratos is alive and still has the Blades of Chaos. However, some theorize that the mysterious entity is an Egyptian character. Why would they constantly hound him, reminding Kratos of destiny? There are many potential reasons. The first is that the character could be Thoth, the Egyptian character who looks after the moon and also acts as an advisor, representing Ra. He's depicted as a man with the head of an ibis, or baboon, two forms that the mysterious character used to appear in front of Kratos. Not only does he lead the Ogdoad, but also arbitrates disputes between various characters. He appeared in many tales as a counselor, and was even equated to Hermes by the Greeks. It's more than likely that Thoth knew everything about Kratos, from his past to the imminent future. He knew that Kratos was a threat following the destruction of Mount Olympus and steered him towards Scandinavia instead. While this may have been to protect Egypt from Kratos' next rampage, there may have been a bigger game at play. It is possible that Thoth knew of Ragnarok and saw a result that would end with Odin's demise and a marginally happier ending for all involved, one that saw Kratos taking care of the realms. Based on what we know about the myths of Thoth, it's unlikely that he's manipulating Kratos. Instead, he likely knows his role in the grand design and is simply playing it whenever required. What could the potential grand design be? It could be characters from other myths that come after Kratos, potentially attacking Midgard after they hear of Odin's fate. After all, he's already rewritten history in several different ways. Fimbulwinter occurred far sooner due to Baldur's death. Surtur and Sinmara were both designed to become Ragnarok, but thanks to Kratos, it was only the former, with the latter still alive and grieving in Niflheim. Perhaps the other characters are becoming antsy that Kratos could rewrite their status quo if left unchecked. This opens up the opportunity for Kratos to visit various other settings in addition to Egypt, like Japan, the Maya region, and much more. Perhaps he could battle against Hachiman, a Shinto character. There's all manner of possibilities that would further expand on the scope that the previous games have established. How established characters like Atreus, Angrboda, Tyr, Mimir, and Freya would factor in remains to be seen. It wouldn't be strange for Kratos and his son to cross paths again, with the latter being older. Perhaps if Kratos were to fight against Raijin and Fujin, Thrud could arrive with Mjolnir to back him. The possibilities are endless. It's anyone's guess what the overarching story would be for the next God of War, especially with the Norse saga over and done. Who knows? Perhaps the other characters like Amaterasu, Omikami, or Ra are also aware. And simply playing this giant game, waiting to see where the chips may fall. Kratos could rewrite more major mythological events. Everything could end with his demise, or his story could carry on. Perhaps with Atreus in a starring role. A new God of War will happen at some point, whether it's with or without Kratos in a starring role. Whatever the case, with how crucial and commercially acclaimed God of War Ragnarok has been, fans aren't tired of its brand of storytelling and action. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Bolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.